Hi, my name is Tiffany Davis. I'm the Injury Prevention Coordinator at Riley Hospital for Children. Today I'm going to do a video to show you how to safely harness in a child into a car seat, whether they're rear facing, facing the back of the car, or forward facing. So if you have a car seat that has a harness in it, like this one, this black thing is what I'm referring to as the harness. Oftentimes there's a button in the front of your car seat. Sometimes it's under the fabric, so I put my finger under the fabric to push that button. And when I push that button, that's when I can loosen my harness. So I had to do both actions at the same time. I had to push the button and pull my harness. That's how I loosen it. To tighten it, I'm going to pull on this string in the front. So that's how I tighten it. I don't have to push the button to tighten. I just pull the string to tighten it. For this particular car seat, it is pretty nice because I can easily move my harness up and down by raising my headrest. So I'm going to raise my headrest, and as I raise my headrest, I'm also raising my harness up and down, so the height of the harness. We have another feature here. This is called the buckle, and the buckle comes up in front of the child's body in between the legs. Sometimes there are multiple slots for you to put the buckle. So rule of thumb is you want the buckle to be as close to the child's body, but not under the child's body. So the child should not be sitting on it. I have 3 slots here. Sometimes your car seat instructions will tell you if your child is facing the back, you have to use the inner slot. If your child is facing the front, you can use any slot. Sometimes they have specific rules, but if they don't, we want it to be as close to the child's body, not under the child's body. All right, so we're going to pretend this child is rear facing the back of the car. I'm going to have I have a doll here that is 16 months and it's a toddler. So I'm going to harness in this doll and talk you through it. So I'm going to lower my headrest just a little bit. I'm going to undo everything. Make sure it's nice and loose. And I want to make sure that my harness is not twisted. A twisted harness is less safe than an untwisted harness. So make sure it's not twisted. And I'm going to put my child in and see where my child's shoulders are. When you put your child in, put their bottom all the way to the back. You don't want them to slouch. And the first thing you have to do is really just put your hands on their shoulder and see where their shoulder is. And the reason why I do that is because I want my harness to be at their shoulders or slightly below. This is if they're facing the back of the car. So for my doll here, it is right at my doll's shoulders, and so it's at a good place. I'm going to go ahead and buckle it, making sure that nothing is twisted. I'm going to reach down by my child's hips and bring up the buckle, or bring up the things that go into the buckle. Sometimes this is when it gets twisted, so that's when you want to take out the twists. All right, so we're all buckled in. My buckle is as close to the body as possible. My harness is at the shoulders, or it can be slightly below. And next we want to tighten it. Now I pull this string to tighten. Okay, but when I get a little bit tighter, I'm going to start to push these pillows back on top of the shoulders. We don't want it on the front. We want it on top of the shoulders. And my next step is I'm going to tighten it over the thighs. The way that I tighten it over the thighs is I pull it up. So I'm going to push the chest clip down. This is the chest clip. I'm going to push the chest clip down with my left hand. I'm going to pull up with my right hand and then tighten. And when I know that it's all the way tight enough, I should not be able to pinch anything right here. So I'm doing a pinch test, no pinching. And the very last step is this chest clip can never stay on the belly. It has to be at the armpits. So I'm going to raise that. I can make an L with my fingers, and I can stick my finger in my child's armpit and make sure that that chest clip was at the armpits, at the armpit level. So the 5 things are that the harness should be at or below the shoulders, no twists, no pinching, the chest clip is at the armpits, and the buckle is close to the body as possible, but not under the child. So that would be it for rear facing. Forward facing, I'm going to do pretty quickly because it's very similar. So I'll take my doll out. We've got a forward facing doll now. I know it's going to go taller For a forward-facing doll, we want the harness to be at the shoulders or slightly above the shoulders. So when you put your child in, make sure they're seated as far back as possible. Put your hands on their shoulders, and we got to go up. So we're going to go up with our headrest. So my harness is now just above the shoulders. It can be at or above the shoulders if I'm forward facing, and everything else is exactly the same. So buckle everything, making sure it's not twisted. I'm going to take my cushions and push them to the top of the shoulders. I'm going to tighten it over the thighs. So I'm going to push down with my left hand on this chest clip, up with my right hand, and then tighten it at the string. I'm going to do my pinch test to make sure it's tight enough. And my last step is I'm going to move my chest clip to the armpits. I can stand next to my child and make an L and put my fingers in there, and then I know that that is at the correct position. And as we enter the winter, or when winter happens, I've got a coat here, puffy winter coat. These are not recommended to be on a child if the child is wearing a harness in a car seat. It should never go under the harness, but children can take a coat like this, they can take it off, and they can wear it on top of the harness like a blanket, or you can take their arms and put it through here and they can wear it backwards, and that will keep them nice and warm when they're in the car when it's cold outside.